Show here on Shaw, second episode of season number 9, also episode 163, which is the same amount of goals our director Todd Jones let in his last hockey tournament. Moving on, our musical guests right behind me this week, two very dynamic performers in Kiki Kilter and Anatole McGuinness from the Sonic Space. We're going to find out more about their band and hear some of their original songs later on in the show. Also in today's shows, we're going to meet folks with Self-Advocates of Nanaimo, a group that helps others help themselves. We're also going to find out about a volunteer tutor program up at Vancouver Island University that assists a very wide range of students, but they're also looking for more volunteer tutors. That could be you. Find out why, how, soon. Also, the publisher of a brand new upcoming magazine called FOLKLIFE is here, all about living the Gulf Islands lifestyle. We'll find more about how you can also contribute to that. Now, technology, it's connected us in so many more ways than before, so then why are we more depressed, lonely, and distressed than ever before? Well, there's a very cool event coming up in Vancouver later on this month that's going to face that head on, and they're also looking for folks from Vancouver Island to take part and perhaps change their lives. We also have a number of segments on Christmas and holiday fundraising activities coming up, including the 4th annual Give and Go campaign, the Kringle Craft Market, the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. We're going to kick off the show with those oh-so-heavenly Volunteer Nanaimo Christmas Angels. So pour yourself some eggnog because that pumpkin spice is so last month, and enjoy this show on Shaw.
Well, it's not supposed to be beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but based on today's show, I think it might start to look that way. And one of the reasons is because this is the time we start preparing for really important things, like the Volunteer Angel Program with Volunteer Nanaimo, and my good friend Rita's here to share everything about it. How are you doing? Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. It feels like it almost should be New Year's so that we can actually rest up from this holiday season, but we are busy knee-deep in families, seniors, and youth in need. So really happy to be here again and to see you and to be able to share a little bit about what Volunteer Nanaimo Christmas Angels does. So the program's been around for about 11 years. We started the first year 2008, we helped 8 families. Yes. So we thought that was pretty good, but last year we did 386 families, so we think we're doing a little bit better now.
386 families. Yeah. Where do the families come from?
So we work with, right now, 16 different agencies around Nanaimo, and we get families and information about families and youth from them. Yeah. So they do the vetting process, they send it to us, and then I get all kinds of amazing angels in this city. I just can't believe the outpouring of support that we get. Yeah. I think a lot of people like it because it's a personal kind of program where you actually help someone, and there's, if not a face, because it is anonymous, a name and a feeling about families. So that's terrific. Like I say, we have amazing angels. But
the Nanaimo generosity is crazy too, because you and I have had many conversations about the angels and what they do. These angels don't just give a little thingamabibby. Like they really invest in the family, don't they?
They really do.
Yeah.
They really buy into it and really want to give an amazing Christmas. So that's incredible. I can't say enough good about the angels. But just so that everyone knows, you don't have to go that far to be an angel, and I'm happy to share that information with anyone who wants to write. I think our email address is being posted right now. And you can be an angel just by donating a gift card, like a small gift card, $10 towards one of our youth for Subway so they can go out for lunch with their friends. Big asks this year are for shampoo, conditioner, cleaning products for families, because all those things really costly now, and just a lot of different problems that people are having. So it's just about anything. You can drop by the office, you can give us a call, you can shoot me an email. I promise I'll email you back, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll be there. And just any kind of support is, we're just so grateful for it. And if you don't.
But I really want to hone in on this piece of it because I recognize, all of us do, that, Nanaimoites are very, very generous. But as you mentioned a moment ago, it's not about the big stuff. It's that right now, what's happening in our community is that there's a lot of real essential need that's going on. And so things, like you said, simple things like gift cards and shampoos and smaller items, they come together to be part of a hamper kind of program, and then that is dedicated to the family, right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Even a turkey voucher. Lots of families don't get turkeys, so turkey voucher, drop it off. We'll tuck it into somebody's family gift basket, and that would be great.
But now this is pretty personal for you as well. You've been doing this yourself for a really, really long time. How many years have you just been doing this, Rita?
Well, with Volunteer Nanaimo, since the beginning.
Since the beginning, oh my goodness.
Since the beginning. I've been with them for almost 17 years now.
Yeah. Have you noticed any changes in the way things have been over the last few years?
Just that there's more and more need, and I don't even know that there is more need. I think that we're just becoming more aware of the need.
Really, yeah.
People are actually, I think it's out there. I think there's a lot more than what we see. I think there's a lot of very proud people who don't want to do the ask, so sometimes our agents are actually searching those people out and letting them know it's okay to ask, it's okay to get a little help, and it's anonymous.
And it's anonymous.
So, you don't have to be worried about that.
And the good news is whether or not it's anonymous, the impact of it is absolutely tenfold. We're going to take a little turn around and learn more about how impact can happen by some advocates that are happening right in our city. Joanne Hogan's got something to share with us. You'll enjoy it. I know you will.
Thank you so much to Rita and her team of angels. That sounds like a wonderful project that's been going on for a number of years and helping a lot of people in need, our fellow citizens in Nanaimo. So I wish them the best with their program this year. And speaking of people who are helping and self-helping, I'm really excited to introduce 3 wonderful people from Supporting Advocates in Leadership, who Gwen is going to talk about. Gwen is in the middle of the happy trio here. And Barbara Anderson and Kara Anderson, who represent Self Advocates Nanaimo. So Sal and San. Right. So Gwen, fill us in on what's happening with Sal these days.
So SAL has been around for about 30 years. We help people who have diverse abilities, also known as disabilities, but the people themselves like it to be diverse abilities. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we help them live empowered and independent lives, and essentially to be leaders in their own lives. And some of the things we do, we meet one-on-one with people, we meet in groups, we meet in outreach. Mm-hmm. We work on issues that are important to them and goals that are important to them. Solution-focused advocacy, learning and workshops, educating the community, peer mentoring, and bridging to programs and services in the city, and also just to the community, and i.e. volunteering.
Okay, and educating the committee, we'll get back to you two folks here, Barbara and Kara again, after we've seen an excerpt of a video. You folks are in the video, but the excerpt that we're showing today is you're not in it. One of your colleagues, Sarah, will be one of the speakers from the Self Advocates. But we want to let people know that that video is available on YouTube. It's under Food, Fun, and Advocacy. You folks are in the presentation, and there's a blooper reel at the end.
Yes, there is.
Okay, so let's watch.
The self-advocacy movement was started in Sweden in the late 1960s. The idea of self-advocacy was for people with disabilities or diverse abilities to take back their lives. For thousands of people who were labeled as having a disability and who had been abused, neglected, incarcerated, and misunderstood, it was a chance for them to take back their power.
I think it's important for people to realize that we can do stuff like work and do other stuff like Special Olympics and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you've seen the excerpt. You are, as I mentioned, already in this video elsewhere. I'd like to begin by asking both of you. Let's start with Barbara. What impact has being a self-advocate and being part of this program, what impact has it had on your life?
A great impact, because when I was living alone with my parents, I didn't know a lot of people who didn't do much at all. And by joining the program, we did different things, met people, and we got into self-advocacy and the things we're doing. We did a presentation in Victoria this past May, and with our video on that. And there's also programs through the food share that's like good food box cooking, and kids can cook, and there's and the lunch program for the summer and the fall, which I help out volunteer. And what I'm working on right now is I wrote a letter to the bus company on the change of where they have the bus stop now downtown, which a lot of people do not like. It's not safe there. And I wrote them to tell them that we don't like it. We would like it back on Prudhoe Street because it's safer by the police station. It's more accessible for seniors, people with disabilities, and young families with children with strollers. And because it's not safe because of the tent city was there, still drugs are there, and it's just panhandling and a lot of crime, and we don't feel safe going down there at night. Because when we get off the bus, if we missed one bus, we have to wait an hour. It's not safe at all. We don't like it going down there. And I've got a response from the transit, so I have a meeting to go to talk to them about this. Hopefully we can change it back to where it was.
Okay, well, best of luck on what you're working on. And I was going to ask you what you're working on.
I'm working on right now the federal government just passed the Canadian Accessibility Act, which became law as of June 21st of this year. Right now there are town hall meetings all across the province. BC wants to become do their own legislation, so there have been town halls all across the province, and we are doing our own town hall on the 27th of November at Food Share, which is 271 Pine Street, from 6 until 8. So anybody who would like to come out and help form how the government helps support us would be all greatly appreciated.
That sounds wonderful. Now, really quickly, we're going to have to wrap up. We have to talk a bit about those T-shirts and the beautiful graphic that was also shown in the beginning of the video. This was created by self-advocates, and it's very, very empowering to take the time to read through the words that were expressed on a tree of hope and a tree of intent by you folks. So we're going to have to end it on this. Unfortunately, I could talk with you folks for hours about what you've been doing. I know your dream is to end up in the House of Commons talking about this. And we're going to pass it on now to Matt, and he's going to be talking with Alina.
Thank you so much, Joanne, and thank you so much as well to the self-advocates here in our studio and as well as those watching at home. You're brilliant, and we do hope your brilliance keeps on shining. All right, now we're moving on to talk about the Gulf Islands lifestyle. It's pretty brilliant as well in a down-to-earth sort of way, and there's a new magazine aiming to launch in 2020, looking to tell the stories and the experiences of Gulf Islanders and island living. Very glad to be joined by the founder and publisher of FOLKLIFE, Alina Surmanera. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah, so we're stoked to hear you talk about the magazine. Before we get to the magazine, I know we were talking off air. You were someone that grew up in a big city, but now embracing coastal life. So what is it about coastal culture that you really enjoy?
It's just a whole lot slower and more intentional here. Everybody's very easygoing, and they really focus on their quality of life rather than just kind of the rat race that was Calgary.
There it is, the big city, the big Shaw headquarters city. I like to, one of the taglines that we've got for the magazine is slow the folk down.
Yeah.
So that's exactly it, right? Getting back to really embracing the natural world that are around.
Exactly, yeah. It works on so many levels, slowing the folk down, from just paying attention to the details in your life that you care about, and on a greater perspective as well in regards to the earth and the people around you.
And speaking of the earth, actually, and people, I mean, you've done a lot of world traveling yourself. So does that sort of solidify that this area of the world is someplace that's pretty special?
Yeah, so when I came back, it was absolutely, I didn't expect it at all. It just so ridiculous to see what a paradise we live in. It is just so oxygenated, so green, so, again, easygoing, and people take the time to talk with you and connect with you and work on a different pace than really what I found in the rest of the world.
Yes. Now, a lot of folks, when they're sharing stories, media, this sort of thing, now these days it's all podcasts, blogs, video. Why go to a printed magazine?
Yeah, so there is something just so beautiful about the printed tactile magazine, something you can hold and feel and keep around and share. And after a long day of being on the computer, there is nothing less I would like to do than look at the screen for further reading. So this is really going back to our roots, very folk life, to have something to hold and to keep, which is why we're going the printed magazine route.
Yeah. Of course, I love my puns. Going back to the roots, a lot of the folks on your team putting this magazine together are farmers.
They are.
So that's pretty cool to be able to have sort of them share their stories through a magazine as well. What does that sort of bring to the publication?
Well, we call ourselves folk lifers because we live the actual folk life lifestyle. And we say it's close to the earth with intention and with creativity. So these guys, they do everything they do, from their garlic to their animals to their just the way in which that they live with the earth is really infusing the magazine. And it's not just the people like the art director and the photographer that are involved, but all of the people we're focusing on too across all of the Gulf Islands. They all live in this way in different ways.
Yeah. So let's talk about who you're going to focus on for the articles. What about the audience? What about the readership? Are you looking for folks that maybe from a city such as Calgary, looking to see what lifestyle this coastal lifestyle is about, or is it people in the communities they're going to be writing about?
Yeah, so two separate audiences. The first is the city folk, the people who are living this kind of lifestyle that is busy and just so much going on. And this is kind of a window into a salty wild, like a different way of living. And then it's also those who are already living this lifestyle, who want to connect with other people who are living similarly. And not just the romance of it, but the grit too. Mm-hmm. There's both sides of living intentionally. It's a lot. And so the stories will really resonate on a personal level.
Farming is not terribly clean.
It is not. It is gritty. Yeah.
All right, so just a couple minutes here left. I know you're also currently fundraising for the magazine, the Kickstarter campaign, helping with startup costs, that sort of thing. Yeah. I know the deadline's November 21st, so depending on when you're watching this, maybe before you can still donate, maybe after. But so just to tell folks where they can go look to contribute to the magazine. I know there's subscriptions as well and other stuff. But yeah, how can they contribute to the magazine that way?
Yeah, so Kickstarter is really exciting. It's all or nothing, so we have to make our goal by next week, whatever time you're watching. And we are 90% of the way there, which is really exciting. And you can go check it out on, if you just Google FOLKLIFE Kickstarter, it'll come right up. And you can watch more about us, meet our team, read more about the whole lifestyle. It's not just farming, it's the arts, it's food, it's the nature, it's so much.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm glad you hear about this, adding to the many wonderful publications, talking about island life. Lena, thank you so much for joining us. Again, the website, folklifemag.ca for more information on the Kickstarter and more there. All right. So turning the page now, the magazine, a return to a popular Nanaimo Christmas fundraising campaign. Kerilie, over to you.
Thanks so much, Matt. You know, this is a time of year where we're thinking of helping others during the holiday season. We want to help the community and make sure that everyone's taken care of. And today, joining me on the program is Dawn Anderson, Fundraising and Promotions Coordinator of the Salvation Army, and Krista Ferris, who's the Community and Guest Relations Leader at Steve Marshall Ford Lincoln. Welcome to you both.
Thanks.
Thank you. Now, they're both here to tell us about a very special program called Give and Go. I'll start with you, Krista. Tell us about the program and what's it all about?
The Give and Go was actually created with Salvation Army by 2002. Steve Marshall Ford took over hosting in 4 years ago. This will be our 4th year. And the Give and Go is just about bringing non-perishable foods, clothing, cash, one-stop drop. And you don't even have to get out of your vehicle. You just drive on through. We have a lot of volunteers who will come out and take out those donations from you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Give and Go.
Give and Go. So,
Give and Go.
So the donations are going to the Salvation Army.
And Loaves and Fishes.
And Loaves and Fishes.
And the Hamperville.
It's really important organizations in our community. And Dawn Anderson, I want to ask you, what's the best way to give? What types of things should people be giving this year that are the best kind of items to give?
Well, definitely cash goes far. Cans of non-perishable food items are amazing because the Christmas hampers always need non-perishable food items to help along the way, and clothing, because we know that this time of year it's cold, and we have lots of folks who are living on the street still and in need of that warm clothing.
Right, it's true. And actually, I guess maybe grocery gift cards would be a nice idea as well, or what else do people need at this time of year? Warm mitts, warm clothing, warm jackets.
Warm socks.
Warm socks.
All sorts of things, whatever.
Toiletries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you think of yourself of what you need, that's what others need.
That's right.
And the gift certificates are always amazing, because then if there is someone who has more of a dietary items, then they're able to get things that they need to use.
That's right, because some people in need are diabetic or have special diets, and they need to be catered to as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Krista, tell us about the Steve Marshall Forward program. Isn't there going to be some entertainment, I hear?
There is definitely going to be entertainment. We've had the Tidesmen come in quite a few times, and they will be performing between 6 and 7, and we will be having food. Burgers by donation, so definitely if you're going to come hungry, because their burgers, they are pretty good, and hot chocolate for anybody who wants to just hang out and enjoy the music and donate.
Nothing like a hot cocoa in December, right?
That's right.
So now I understand that if for some reason people can't come on December 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. to drop off, they can drop off beforehand, right?
They definitely
can.
can.
So when can people start dropping off?
Now.
Now.
Now. Right now.
Good. That's great.
It is.
So we've got the music, we've got the burgers, we've got it all set up.
We do.
Oh, and there's little gifties, I hear.
There are gift bags. So for the people who stop by and drop their donations off, we will hand you a gift for a thank you, just for taking your time out of your day to come and help support your community.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. So is there anything else that we need to know about Dawn that we should be thinking of to help the Salvation Army at this time of year and throughout the year with the kettle drive?
Exactly. The kettle drive is starting next Friday on the 22nd of November through to December 24th. Lots of locations inside and out. You can get cold, but please support those in need at Christmas time, because the money we raise in Nanaimo stays in Nanaimo, and it helps everyone throughout the whole year, not just at Christmas time.
So we're looking for donations.
Donations.
We want people to be generous.
Able bodies.
And we want people to volunteer as well,
and
right?
Definitely volunteer.
Okay. Do you need any volunteers, Krista?
Of course, we're always welcoming volunteers.
To help with the give and go.
You betcha.
Right?
Lugging those things back into, lugging the donations back into the truck definitely helps. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you both for joining us on the show today. We'll encourage everybody to get on out to the Steve Marshall Ford Lincoln location. Where is the address? Where is it?
Oh, so Steve Marshall Ford Lincoln is 3851 Shenton Road.
Right.
We're the only Ford dealership in Nanaimo.
Okay.
Yes.
So get on down there to that Ford, Steve Marshall Ford Lincoln. Donate, be generous, and be kind. It's the season to be jolly and to be kind and giving. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to throw it over next to a wonderful group here that we have called the Sonic Space with a tune called It Doesn't Matter.
You late last night, just wanted to say it don't feel right, hanging on your rope, used up all my hope, yeah, this is just a joke, love's choke, oh, well it doesn't matter, I said that I loved you, it doesn't matter, I guess I lied, it doesn't matter, I'm good on my own, sleeping in my bed. Yeah, I know that we all got flaws. The way you kissed left me raw. All the false starts just to get to your heart. And now that we're apart, everything I've got for me. Well, it doesn't matter. I said that I loved you. It doesn't matter. I guess I lied. It doesn't matter. I'm good on my own, sleeping in my bed alone, all alone. Striking out on my own, being so far from home, my heart's turned to stone. It's easier to leave when there's nothing left to grieve. Well, it doesn't matter. I said that I loved you. It doesn't matter. I guess I lied. It doesn't matter. I'm good on my own, sleeping in my bed alone, all alone. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, not at all.
Oh, I guess I can't have this right now. Life is sweet. The music was sweet, but things are about to get so much sweeter here on the show today. My guest is the lovely Haley Bennett from Candy Empire, and we're here to prepare a beautiful dish in honor of the upcoming Kris Kringle Craft Market, which is starting on November 21st at Bevan Park Social Center. Welcome, Haley.
Thank you.
What are you making it snow over here?
I am, and you know what? This is the trick to making marshmallows at home without wanting to pull your hair out. Okay. Because what I have here in this bowl is a fresh batch of cinnamon marshmallow that I just whipped up.
I can smell it. It smells amazing.
Now, candy making is a lost home art. Trust me, you can do it at home, but these little tricks like coating a pan in as much icing sugar as you can will really make sure that you're set up for success.
Okay, and do I get to lick the bowl and the spoon?
I don't know, there's a lot of people in the room that might fight you for that privilege.
Not probably, I wouldn't doubt it. So as I mentioned, you're going to be at the Kris Kringle Craft Fair, and there's so many really cool things that are going to be happening there. The first 100 customers who come through the door are going to get a free $5 gift card to Tim Hortons. So gift just for going. Like, isn't that fantastic?
That's pretty great. I love gifts.
You are one of 150 vendors.
I am. I am very happy to be coming back to Kringle again for the 4th year, I think now. Yeah. And Kringle, it isn't really Christmas until it's Kringle.
That's exactly right.
And I look forward to it every year, and I'll be there with my treats, of course.
Well, and not only is it all about treats, it's also about helping our community. Because I know that Kris Kringle partners with WestJet to raise money for the Fill a Dream Foundation, which supports Vancouver Island families whose lives have been changed by childhood illness. So last year, they raised $4,500. So that is a gift in itself to our community, don't you think?
I do.
Okay, so what are you doing here now?
So now I have the marshmallow spread out, and now we unfortunately play the waiting game. Because this marshmallow is still very sticky and it'll take a while for it to set. But the good news is I happen to have here a batch that I made before coming today of vanilla.
How long would it normally take to set up?
Ooh, You know, candy making's finicky. It depends on things like humidity and temperature, but 8 to 10 hours is actually how long it will take to set up marshmallow. And if I leave the spatula on there, it'll definitely stick. So let me just take that out of the way.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
So I'm sure you're not going to have any problem finding a large number of taste testers. So now you're using scissors
I am using scissors to cut this
Okay.
up. A good pair of kitchen scissors can be useful in many ways, and because marshmallow is very sticky, this batch I made this morning, and so it's had plenty of time to set up.
Okay.
I'm still going to coat a little bit on top, but then with a pair of scissors, I'm able to cut a beautiful strip.
Oh, look at that.
Which is how I package my product. But you know, what I recommend people do is actually just cut it up into little cubes like this and melt it on top of your coffee.
Oh.
Or your hot chocolate. Would you like to try a bite?
I will in a minute. But in the meantime, I just wanted, you have some other beautiful products. You're not just making and selling marshmallows.
I'm not just marshmallows. I also
see.
feature candies, and I am a chocolatier.
And a chocolatier.
So I did bring some of my chocolate bars today.
Wonderful.
I'm not sure if those will make it home either.
No, I don't think so. And then also at Kringle, there will be so many things that are going on. I see we've got entertainers, family activities like face painting, photos with Kringle, gingerbread decorating, horse-drawn carriage rides, candles, artisans, clothing, jewelry, kids items, like it just goes on and on and on. I mean, I go to Kringle every year with my daughter and my daughter-in-law. It's a full day. We have a blast. I think last year my favorite was, I think it's the Kringle. And he was a lot of fun. We got some really great family photos. I think my favorite thing though must be the door prizes. They give away some seriously
They give away
good
some
door prizes.
serious swag at Kringle, yes, including 2 tickets to Anywhere WestJet flies. Wow. Yes.
Well, I know that I'm going to be there, and I'm sure a lot of other people will. And I can't wait to try these marshmallows. You've made it look so simple. Sugar, corn syrup,
gelatin,
and water.
That's all
and
it is.
There we go. And whatever spices set your fancy.
Yeah, whatever flavor you want to add.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
me.
me.
We'll see you at Kringle. And like she said, it's not Christmas until we Kringle.
Thank you very, very much, Jane and Haley. And again, outside of that incredible candy that's going to be available at the Kringle Craft Fair, highly suggest you purchase some of the amazing silver bells that are also there. After all, Kringle bells, Kringle all the way. All right, so I got heard a laugh from Todd there. If you've ever felt distressed or emotionally run down or lost, whether for my jokes or any other reason, well, you're not alone. Take a look at the short video here right now and see if any of this messaging resonates with you.
In the face of unprecedented wealth, technical connectivity, and economic efficiencies, our current system seems to be creating the felt experiences of scarcity, loneliness, and fear. Addiction, depression, dysfunctional relating, and other manifestations of emotional distress are growing. People have more connectivity options than ever, yet feel lonelier than ever. We have learned how to do lonely together. We believe the reason people are hurting is because they are needing something they are not getting from us, and that something is us, and a body felt knowing that they matter to us. If we bring that, then everything changes, everything for the better, for them and for us. What if the cure for just about everything that ails us emotionally is deep and satisfying connection? And what if each and every one of us can bring that by learning how to relate to ourselves and each other better? We've discovered something that we want to show you and the rest of the world on November 23rd in Vancouver, Canada. We believe it matters to everybody. Please join us.
Very powerful stuff there, and very happy to be joined in studio now by the gentleman you just saw and heard there in the video, coach, leader, and entrepreneur, Barry Sampson. Barry, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Matt. It's great to be here.
Very happy to have you here. And before we get into details of the step, which we just heard about there in the video, I'd like to touch on your journey first. Looking at some of your background, you've done lots of traveling, work outdoors. You wouldn't seem like someone who might know a lot about depression, but you've done lots of group talks about depression. So what is it that brought you to sort of face that head on?
Yeah, so my journey, I got off to kind of a rough start, as a lot of people do. And along that way, there weren't really resources for me at that point to get better. So what I have done, fast forward 40 years, is I put something together that would have helped me, and of course many other people like me, back when life was just full of pain. completely paying. And we call it the event the step. All people need to do is take the step and join our community. That's all you need to do. So
I heard a great line in another interview with you where you said, you can't move from unhealthy to healthy without doing something.
Yeah. So a lot of people read books, a lot of people talk about change and all that thing, but life is not a spectator sport. You have to jump in the arena. So we've created a virtual community and arena where people can move forward in their lives. And they only do what they want. So that's important. It's not a boot camp. We haven't created a boot camp. We've created something which is like the family most of us didn't really have. And it works. It works incredibly well. I've been working on it for 4 years. It's kind of like our coming out party. And Vancouver's the loneliest city in Canada, so we're bringing it to Vancouver.
Interesting. You mentioned sort of the idea about the family there, and I know one of the big sort of themes and writings about this event is connection. So what is it about connection that works really well as part of this program?
A lot of people talk about connection, but we have to talk about what it isn't. A lot of people think that connection is just an assembly of people, that we bring people together, either in a marriage or a family or a business, and something magical happens. Well, it doesn't work that way. Connection as we know it, and as I've defined in our video, is the result of a courageous action where you win connection. So connection is not a right. A lot of people would like to think it is. It's what we win when we bring to our lives what works for us. And the best place to invest in this is in how we relate with other people. If we relate really well with other people, as we move our connection meter up, all the other distress meters move down at the same time. It's like magic.
So let's get into the event now, The Step. Again, taking place in Vancouver, November 23rd. Yeah. And so what is it that happens there that's going to create these connections, or what can people experience by taking part?
So we're going to have part of our community is going to be there, so people will be able to ask our members where they were when they started and where they are now and how they got there. So it's not like me telling people, they're going to talk to the people who have actually done this thing. So we're going to show, we're not going to tell, we're going to actually show people what we've done. And we're also going to create an opportunity for people to step up and take advantage of a completely free opportunity to change their lives and do exactly what all these other people have done and brought predictable, powerful change to their lives.
This is also basically the first step in sort of a 6-month process, correct?
Yeah, so in the past, change takes time, so 3 months minimum, but this time around for this pod, this demonstration pod, we're going 6 months. It's 2 hours a week for 6 months. If someone steps in and hangs in there for 6 months, they're going to change their lives irreversibly forever for the better and predictably. Like, this is no longer maybe, this will happen. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for Vancouver Island people too. Just because it's in Vancouver, you can take the 10:40 ferry, be there. We start at 2 p.m. We're done at 5:30, 5:45. You catch the 8 p.m. ferry back. It's as much a Vancouver Island event as it is Vancouver. I'm from Vancouver Island. I'm from Nanaimo. And this opportunity that we're bringing it's quite remarkable. In addition to our community experience, the Wayne Gretzky of the coaching world is making 6 of his programs available for free to our podsters.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's kind of a home run.
Very powerful stuff. Yeah, all right. I should also let know, as you mentioned, people from Vancouver Island can go. You can also go in person as well, also stream it online as well. For more information, I guess folks can go to thestep.ca on that as well. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. All the best with your success with the event, and thank you for your work in inspiring and energizing people as well.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to step over to our music set right about now and meet members of Sonic Space in our Sonic Space. Vanessa, over to you.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I am super excited to have our next guest in the studio for her very first ever television interview promoting the Sonic Space. We've got Kiki Kilter with us this evening. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm really happy to be here. Feels like my Ed Sullivan Beatles moment, kind of.
That's excellent. So the Sonic Space, tell me tell me how you came to be.
Well, I moved to Nanaimo in 2011, and I was working with some musicians, and the first original member of the band, he was like telling me this concept, and he's like, you gotta fill the sonic space, and I was like, wait, stop, that's the band name, that's perfect. So I started playing as a kind of an acoustic duo act, and then it grew and grew, and in 2012, I had a full band and started writing original songs. And then I took a hiatus, and then I just started up with the current members. Well, March of 2018, we've got Anatol McGuinness, who I'm extremely fortunate to have in the band. He's a multi-instrumentalist. We've been great friends for 8 years, and I finally got him. We've got Dave Mills, who's also a multi-instrumentalist. We've got James Booker, also a multi-instrumentalist, and then we've got Kyle Neal, who rounds us out and plays saxophone.
Oh, excellent. So a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Where can we find you guys most of the time?
We mostly play at the Corner Lounge. Typically, we're there practicing on Sundays and Tuesdays at the jams. Anatol runs the Tuesday jam, so we all try to make appearances as often as possible as a unit on Tuesdays. We do gigs there sporadically. I've got an acoustic show coming up on November 18th at the Nanaimo Bar with another friend that I perform with sometimes. And yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook, just the Sonic Space.
Yes, yes, yes. So you guys are doing originals this evening in studio, but you also do dance and pop covers.
Yes, we do. Some of our favorite covers that we do. My personal favorite is Careless Whisper, obviously, because we have a sax player. We have to do that song. But we do like a contemporary take on classic songs too, and we add that saxophone element to things like Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It, and Alice Merton, No Roots. Lots of great kind of pop songs that we cover. We cover every genre, pretty much every time period between like the 70s up to now.
Now, you have a little bit of a nickname, don't you? Relating to pop. Well, tell us what that is.
I've been called the pop star, or some variation of pop star, since I was about 17 years old. So it's kind of written in the stars that I was going to end up being a pop star.
A pop star with a huge wide range of vocals. This woman can hit almost any note. If you get a chance to come down to the Corner Lounge or the Nanaimo Bar to catch her at one of her gigs with the Sonic Space, I highly recommend that you do so. And your next gig, you said, is on the
November 18th, and then we also will be releasing an album within the next year. It's called Two Sides, so look for that. Two Sides.
Two Sides. And is that going to feature all of your band members?
Actually, yeah, it is actually, yeah.
Excellent.
It'll be all of us.
Including Anatol, who's here with us this evening.
Yes. And the counterpoint to the first song that you heard earlier is actually the song that we're going to do now, and it's called Knock Me Down.
It's called Knock Me Down, and this song has some violin taking place in it. So I'm going to step aside. I'm going to bring Anatol back to the stage and let Sonic Space take it away for you guys.
Thank you so much.
You pick me up off of the floor, sweep it away out the front door. It always feels like I'm losing with you when I try to love, and I wanna win. Sometimes I keep wishing that you'd see my face, see what you've done and be put in your place. It's never okay to do me that way, and it's my fault, baby, that I can't walk away. So knock me down, because I'm not strong. Knock me down when I say something wrong. Knock me down, take it all away, then give me a reason to stay. Ooh. Fall for your lines every time. See the man I need you to be when you send me flowers, saying you love me. I know it's only good for a couple of hours. If I survive, if I endure, I feel like maybe you'll be reassured, and your demons can be devoured. So knock me down, because I'm not strong. Knock me down when I say something wrong. Knock me down, take it all away, then give me a reason to stay. I think I can make it alone. It's not safe here inside this home. I've gotta go. Take care of yourself, and I'll take care of myself. As much as I love you, I love me more. As much as I love you, I love me more. As much as I love you, I love me more. As much as I love you, I love me more. Knocked me down, now I am strong. Knocked me down, everything about you was wrong. Knocked me down, you showed me how to never love myself. Until now, knocked me down, now I am strong. Knocked me down, everything about you was wrong. Knocked me down, you showed me how to never loved myself. Until now. Until
Thank you so much, Sonic Space, for the gift of that beautiful music. Giving has been a theme throughout the show this evening. But it's not just giving during the holiday season that's important. It's also important to give in our community year-round. If you're a person who is a lifelong learner and maybe someone who has a teaching background, then this is the gig for you. My guest today is Cathy Smith, Vancouver Island University, volunteer tutor coordinator and academic and career preparation. Thank you, Cathy, for joining me today. So tell me, what kind of a demand is there for tutors at Vancouver Island University?
Well, the demand is there because adult learners are returning to school in larger numbers to upgrade their basic math and English skills to get into their programs, their chosen programs, be it vocation, trade, science, humanities, and English and maths are the areas where students most need to upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what kind of things does an adult tutor do to teach adult students?
Well, I spoke with a student today who said that when he was looking for a tutor, he wanted a mentor. And so I like to think of the tutors as mentors, that they have skills of being able to connect with other people. They have conversation skills. They have knowledge in specific areas, English and maths. So that's physics, biology, and chemistry. And they have a willingness to share that knowledge with the adult learner. And they sit down one-on-one or in groups of 2 or 3 and have conversations around what the student needs to know.
Okay, and so, you know, what is the joy that a tutor would get out of tutoring?
Some tutors say that they really appreciate the opportunity to give back to the community. Some tutors say that as former teachers, they appreciate the opportunity to be in that mentoring role, in that teaching role again. And for the most part, tutors like to be able to support the future.
Do you have a special story for me?
I do indeed. A young man recently moved here from outside the country. He is a single father, single parent. He has a full course load, working toward his Bachelor of Science degree as a majoring in psychology. And he desperately needed help with calculus. I would too. And I matched him with a tutor who was a chemical engineer. And the two of them are hitting it off. They've developed a great rapport, and this student is looking at A's and looking at a bright future.
Wow. And for the students, I know they'll have a lifelong memory of people who tutor and support. It's like doing practicums. I mean, you really develop a relationship with people when you're working on really closely, doing things like this. So what kind of training do you provide for the tutors themselves?
We provide an initial orientation that looks at the school and familiarizes them with the concept of tutoring adult learners. And then once a month, beginning in January, I'm going to offer monthly in-service workshops that focus on specific areas of skills development for the tutors. Working with people with diverse abilities, working with individuals with mental health needs, working skills and tips and tricks to help the student along and remember the information more accurately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to wrap up here, Cathy, but very, very quickly, what would be the time commitment for someone wanting to volunteer?
A minimum of 3 hours per week for a minimum of 6 months. And having said that, sometimes a student just wants an hour a week of someone's time, and that's all you need to give.
So such an incredible gift that we can give to someone who's trying to get started in their education, and ways for us to give back and give a gift to ourselves. So thank you so much for being my guest. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about giving with Vanessa and the Nanaimo Toy Drive.
Thanks so much for that. You may have already seen from tonight's show that it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas around here, and that makes me super excited to have our next guest back in the Shaw studio again. We've got Kerilie Isles and Krista Simpson from the Nanaimo Toy Drive. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Look at all the fun goodies you have.
All kinds of good gifts. You know, one of the things that the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive offers our community, because it is a community-driven toy drive, is a chance to develop that empathy muscle. It's great for parents to take their kids out. They can buy a toy together and then drop it off in one of the big boxes at many of the shopping malls, Woodgrove, Country Club, North Town Center, or the fire halls, Coastal Community Credit Union. There are many places around town that will accept the toys. And it's teaching the kids how to make sure that we're caring for others in our community. That's really important.
It's always good to look for those teaching moments with our youth, isn't it? So community, that's one of my favorite things, community, and bringing communities together to support communities, and that's kind of what's happening here. So you have, I imagine, a multitude of volunteers that are involved in making all of this happen.
We do. We have a number of volunteers, and if somebody is interested in volunteering, they can go to our website, The Great Nanaimo Toy Drive, and find out some more information. But I just quickly mention that we are looking for people that might want to take on a little bit larger role. Many of our board members are getting a little bit long in the tooth, and so it would be great to bring on some new energy, and they'd have a couple years to work with these people so that they can take over and continue. You know, this is our 37th year. And that's amazing.
37 years, that is amazing.
You know, we have a lot of community groups that help us. And Krista, what are some of the community things happening this year?
There's quite a few of events going on this year. So we've got the Island Corridor Foundation. They're doing a Santa on the Train event. So you go and you bring a toy and you get photos with Santa on the train. So that's November 30th. There's the Nanaimo Clippers Teddy Bear Toss on December 7th. There we go. And then there's the Brown Social House Pajama Drive on December 8th. So you bring a pair of pajamas and then you can get half price off your meal.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And Krista is our chair this year, Krista Simpson, so we're really glad that she's come along to share some information about the toy drive.
Yeah, of course. I think that's really great. You can go out and make an evening, you can go do your shopping, you can drop off a toy in the bin, you can go buy browns with your pajama donation and have a little bit of a beverage and a bite on your way home and just get a bunch of stuff done on your journey out. Let's talk about what types of stuff. I see we have a variety of different things here. So what kind of stuff do you normally get in and what are you looking for?
We try to offer a little bit of everything that makes up a Christmas morning. So every child's going to get a teddy bear, a book, a game for the family, and then a couple of toys, as well as some stocking stuffers. So we try to do a little bit of everything. We're always a bit short for gifts for the older kids. Okay. So that's something we definitely need. So found these at one of the electronic stores in town, so it's not one of the super fancy ones, but it was about $50, so something like that. Or, you know, a video game. A lot of these kids are asking for video games. You know, beyond that, Nerf is always popular. Lego is always popular with all the age groups. Books,
and
huge.
Back to books, always books.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the kids this year are asking for the different types of card games. I'm not super familiar with them, but you know, if you're not sure, ask your own kids, ask your neighbors' kids. They're going to know what the kids want this year. So.
And speaking of kids, if in case you have some children and you really have no other way of providing toys for them, we have a registration. It'll be the last 2 weeks in November at all of the food banks around Nanaimo. And the first week in December, we're located at the University Village Mall, and you can find us there just by asking any of the merchants.
That's great. Any last thoughts about what's going to be happening this year?
I did forget to say, when you register your students, when you register your kids, you need to bring your children's ID cards. That just helps us make sure that we can get we know enough about the families that are coming that will have the toys for the various ages.
So like a care card?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that will help you out a bit. Well, 37 years going strong with the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive, and I just have to say that's really outstanding, and you're getting really close to 40 years, really close to my age. And I would love to have you guys back next year and the following year. I want to talk more and more and more about the growth and encourage more people to get involved out there.
You know, everyone can get involved, whether you're an individual, a family, or a business. There's always a way that you can think of, very creatively maybe, to make a difference in a child's life simply by donating a toy, a gift, or a book.
That's correct. Thank you so much. And I forget who I'm throwing it to.
Yeah, I'm just doing my Christmas shopping here right now.
Very
sorry.
good.
That's probably for better. I'll leave that there.
Music?
I'm sorry, I forgot who I was throwing it to. Go into music.
It's my turn to talk.
Oh, you're just coming in. I'm sorry. I missed it.
No, that's okay. Okay, hi, Doug. All right. No, I see. On behalf of my friend, Curious George and me, thank you both for being here, all your work with the Nanaimo Toy Drive, and thanks, Vanessa, as well, for highlighting this very important initiative here in the city.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to give this guy back for safekeeping over there. And I got to say, Christmas, of course, being well on its way, I'm certainly stocking up on winter supplies here pretty quick. Stocking up, you know. I actually asked my aunt if we're going to get a white Christmas this year. She said, no, just reindeer. Just reindeer. And I got to say, the best Christmas movie of all time has got to be The Muppets Christmas Carol, because it stars, of course, Michael Caine, mainly because his middle name is Candy. Come on, think about it. Think about it. There you go. By the way, one of the worst Christmas, they got it, Todd got it. Ozzy Osbourne actually came over for Christmas dinner one year. He actually had too much to drink, fell into the mashed potatoes. You could see he was going off the rails on the gravy train. All right, so anyways, I actually have to tell these jokes. It's in my contract, item 1225. It's the Santa Claus in there. You know, I gotta tell you, sometimes on the show I'm a turkey, sometimes I'm a ham, and when I flex my arms, you can see, kind of see my muscle sprouts there. Muscle sprouts there, yeah. It's going pretty close. Anyways, I don't want to face the wreath of our producer, or maybe we have to deck the halls with boughs of Holly Robinson on the Extreme Joe Show. So anyways, let's wrap things up. Thanks, of course, to all of our guests and hardworking volunteers and staff in front of the cameras behind the scenes. If you have an event cause demonstration or some shortbread cookies you want to bring to the show, especially shortbread cookies, drop us a line. We're always looking for wonderful guests and volunteers. Find more about this program on Facebook, on YouTube, and search for the show on Shaw on Facebook. Before we go, one more song from the Sonic Space called Vacancy. There's always room for you to join us on the show on Shaw TV.
There's a little more room since you left me in my bed, in my head. There's a little more space in my place, skip ahead, on my way to moving on. There's a vacancy I'm looking to fill tonight. No more tears left to cry, no more give it another try. No more second chances, no more slow dancing. I'm ready to fly, I'm ready to run into the wind out in the sun. There's a little more room since you left me in my bed, in my head. There's a little more space in my place, skip ahead, on my way to moving on. There's a vacancy I'm looking to fill tonight. You can say it isn't right, you can put up a fight, you can promise to see the light, you can do anything in spite. But I'm ready to fly, I'm ready to run into the wind out in the sun. There's a little more room since you left me in my bed, in my head. There's a little more space in my place, skip ahead, on my way to moving on. There's a vacancy I'm looking to fill tonight. Grit on your heels, grease up your wheels. Wanna see what the future reveals. It's time to heal, it's time to make a deal. Dance in the dark, break a new heart. There's a little more room since you left me in my bed, in my head. There's a little more space in my place, skip ahead, on my way to moving on. There's a vacancy I'm looking to fill tonight. There's a vacancy. There's a vacancy. There's a vacancy. There's a vacancy I'm looking to fill tonight.